Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome. I'm Tarhaka, and welcome to Moorish Talk Live 100. Tonight, our special guest is Dr. Walter Williams. As you know, Dr. Williams and I do our broadcast the last Sunday of every month. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Tonight, we're going to be dealing with the first 9 Ecumenical Council meetings. And Dr. Walter Williams is going to explain each one of them one by one. We're going to start out with the first one, which was the Council of Nicaea, which is 325 CE, Common Era. But before we get down into the broadcast, I'm going to go to the commercials, and when we come back, and we're ready to go. First, let me start by saying, for those of you who are new and who are trying to find out what's going on inside the United States, got problems with debt, student loan, child support, foreclosures, mortgages, what have you, go to newdataelimination.com and click on the Contact Us spot. And fill out that little short form and send it to me, and we'll send you our free report directly straight to your email box, okay? That's newdataelimination.com. Click on the Contact Us spot and fill out that, and I'll send you our free report. Okay, let's go into commercial. When we come back, we're ready to go in. Y'all hold on a moment.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tarhaka. Student loans, child support, credit cards, foreclosure debt, and much, much more are some of the problems facing my people. There's a right way and a wrong way to deal with these problems. Proper status in commerce does play a big role. However, we want to get rid of the so-called debt. Go to www.newdataelimination.com. That's www.newdataelimination.com. Let's get off the plantation. Let's not bog down in it. Let's get rid of it by getting rid of these debts. You got to get rid of the debt. If you're going to have a clean start, that's where to start. If you open a business, the first thing you want to do is get out of debt first. Once you get out of debt, now you can think about going forward and doing something different. www.newdataelimination.com.
Looking for a new business opportunity? Join Hemp Now Legal by sending an email to theconsciouscouch@gmail.com. Farmers are quitting tobacco and turning to hemp. and so should you. Join Hemp Now Legal by sending an email to theconsciouscouch@gmail.com. Hemp is the #1 superfood and healer, giving you protein, omega-3 fatty acids, magnesium, zinc, and fiber. Boost your metabolism, support weight loss, immune function, depression, and anxiety. Visit Hemp Now Legal by sending an email to theconsciouscouch@gmail.com. P.O. boxes are outdated, and digital mailboxes are in. Worry about missed or theft of mail or packages when you're not home? Want to know what's in your mailbox without having to get in your car and catch a ride to the post office? Do you have a need for an alternative address or phone number to use instead of your home address and personal phone number? What if you could get rid of the paper clutter by scanning and storing documents all in one place? Your mailbox address works like any street address. We take a picture of the mail and upload it to your account and notify you. You log in from any device and with one click tell us what you want us to do with each one. You'll love your digital mailbox at www.businessfront.space.
Hi, I'm Tarhaka. I have questions. What does it mean to be a creditor? What is a secured party? Just what does it mean, all rights reserved and without prejudice? Just what does it all mean? What is the law exactly? To know it all and to use it all, go to www.newdebtelimination.com. That's www.newdebtelimination.com. Get yourself together. Get out of debt now. Learn how to be a creditor and not a debtor. www.newdebtelimination.com. Call me directly. Tarhaka Monreal Bay, 904-303-9061. Before 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, everybody, we're back. And once again tonight, we're going to be dealing with the first 9 Ecumenical Council meetings explained. Our special guest will be Dr. Walter Williams, and he's going to give us the layout on each one of these one by one, and tell us what it was about, and what did, if you holding a council meeting, what was it about? Why did you have to have these ecumenical council meetings? You had 9 of them. You had one in 325 CE. You had one in 381 CE, and then again in 431 CE, and again in 451 CE, and 553 CE, 680 CE, 754 CE, 787 CE, and then you had another between 469 and 870 CE. What was this all about? Well, tonight we're going to delve down into that and find out exactly each one of these, what it was about, because we want to have the facts. We're not talking about what we believe. We just want to get the facts, and we want to put this information out so that we can verify the facts. For those of you who have questions or comments, you press 1 on your phone, and that gives me an indication that you're in the queue. And I can open up your phone line, and we can find out what your question, comment is. Just press 1 on your phone. Okay? Now, we're going to start out with the first council when Dr. Williams get in. But before we do, I want to say that a lot of people have asked me all over the country, do we have a new business opportunity? And I'm proud to announce that, yes, we do. We have the new CTFO, and what that is, it is our line. You can have your own website, which is free, and your own free back office. Now, in most cases, people know that in order, you pay through nose just to get a back office, but this time you got one free, and then you got a top quality product. The government has lifted the bans on this, and it's outstanding. I use the product every day, hemp oil. And then you got different creams if you have ailments, joint pain, different things you can use this in. Well, that's CTFO. And for those of you who are listening to this broadcast, if you are interested in owning your own network, just give me a call at 904-303-9061 before 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll get you hooked up with your own company. You go to newdebtelimination.com, and right there on the home page, there's a video there, so you will know exactly what this thing is about. And then you can click on the another page there on the website where we have a host of other videos, and then your link, and you can sign up. If you have any concerns, or if it's something that you don't understand, just give me a call, 904-303-9061 before 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay? All right. Now, the Ecumenical Council meetings, what was that all about? Our guest, Dr. Williams, have not arrived yet. He knows that when he gets in, all he has to do is press 1 on the phone. That'll give an indication that he's in the queue, and then we can begin, okay? But in the meantime, until he gets here, we're going to take a little quick break, and hopefully by the time we're done, he'll be in here and ready to go, okay? So y'all just hold on a minute, and we will be right back.
Next level.
Okay, we are back, and I'm gonna go over here and take a chance because I don't see an indication from my guest. Area code 312. You're on the air.
Brother Tarhaka, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I hear you loud and clear. I was waiting on you to give me an indication, and I got no indication. Okay, yes, sir, I hear you loud and clear. Dr. Williams?
Okay.
Appreciate you
That's
being
great.
here for our broadcast.
Okay.
You want to give us a breakdown on our topic this evening is the first 9 Ecumenical Council meetings explained. And first one was the Council of Nicaea in 325 CE. Could you tell us what that was about? Mm-hmm.
Okay. Before we get into the information that I'm going to impart about the Council of Nicaea I in 325 CE, and I want to listen to the audience to know that all 9 of these council meetings took place in northeast Africa, in Turkey, the country that we know today as Turkey. So your first 9 ecumenical council meetings took place there in northeast Africa in Turkey. Okay? And another thing I want the listening audience to know is this. What I'm about to impart to you on this program, I find that no one is telling our African community and the rest of the world how the progression and by way of human history that Christianity, the first man-made religion, developed. I mean, you have billions of Christians out here of all races, creeds, and color, and they go into churches and things like that, and they are professing to be Christians. Now, they actually don't know how Christianity really began, because religions is based off of one's belief. No matter what religion that you embrace, a religion is sustained by the human being believing in these various religions. So belief is the glue that keeps all religions together, no matter what name you call it. Another thing you have to realize as a human being is that no human was born with a religion. No man, woman, or child came into this world with a religion. You were given everything that you would spiritually need to sustain yourself spiritually for the rest of your life, but you were not ever given a religion. So that you must understand very clearly. And say to yourself that I, whatever your name may be, was not born with a religion, but you were born with an indwelling spirit that's indwelling in you at this very moment that I'm talking to you. Also tell yourself that you were not born with a religion. And you must understand that man created these religions for you, for man, to control their thinking and their actions. So that's what religions are for. And the world's first religion created by man was Christianity. I've written a book called The Historical Origin of Christianity. The thesis of that book is saying that there's never been a man that ever walked the earth in human form of any race, creed, or color by the name of Jesus Christ. Now, the reason why we are going into the council meetings this evening on this program is to explain to the African listening audience, because we Africans in the in America and throughout the world, we tend to take Christianity and believe in it down to our very bones, our very core, without understanding or having any history of what you believe in. So today, we're going to break all that down. Christianity, as it's being practiced and used today, just didn't pop up out of the ground. There's never been a Jesus the Christ. My book, The Historical Origin of Christianity, will attest to that. Also, the Roman Catholic Church will attest also that there is no Jesus Christ. They know that there is no Jesus Christ. They know that, but they won't tell you that because it's not in their best interest to tell you that, because the image, the icon, and the symbol of Christianity is institutionalized in all Christian churches throughout the world and throughout America. And that symbol of Christianity is that dead white man on the cross that is called Jesus the Christ. That is the symbol of white supremacy. So therefore, they're going to keep that going because they want us in the African community especially to keep worshiping that and giving that image, that dead white man on the cross, our power, our spiritual power to keep the lie alive. And the Roman Catholic Church know that there's no Jesus Christ, but they won't tell you that, nor will they tell the world, because it's not, as I said before, it's not in their best interest. So tonight, on Tarhaka Mount El Bay Show, we are going to break down how Christianity was created, how the image that we know today as Jesus Christ was created, that non-human created creature called Jesus Christ. We're going to get into that. We're going to bring forth the information to you how the non-human created creature called the Virgin Mary was created. It was done through a progression of human history. So we're going to get into that. And I want also you to know is this. It was our ancestors, the Melkite Coptic Egyptians, who created this non-human created creature called Jesus Christ, this non-human created creature called the Virgin Mary. So we're going to get right into that at this very moment. Now, let's start off in history. When Alexander the Greek came into Egypt in 332 BCE. BC dates, you count down. Today's dates that we live in, you count up. We're in 2018. Next year, 2019. The year after that, it'll be 2020 and so forth and so on. So now, with that being understood, Alexander the Greek comes into Egypt in 332 BCE. He lived for 9 years after that, and he died in 323 BC. But before he died, he knew that in order to rule our ancestors in ancient Egypt, he had to be, and the Greeks had to be accepted in our sacred temple society that our ancestors, the Coptic Melkite Egyptians, had over there up and running prior to these savages coming into the land area of Egypt in the continent of Africa. When they got into Egypt in 332 BCE, I want you to know this, that our ancestors had a civilization up and running for 9,668 years before the Greeks came into Egypt. So civilization, like John Henry Clark said, Dr. John Henry Clark would always say, civilization was over with. So they were the world's first literate people on planet Earth. I'm talking about our ancestors, the ancient Egyptians. Why? Because they created the world's first alphabet that made them literate. Because that's the first thing you learn when you go to school is your ABCs, the alphabet. And with the learning of that alphabet, you'll be able to read, write, and spell. But it makes a human being literate. And they created mathematics, all forms of mathematics. And they created a mathematical formula that they used to build the Great Pyramid that's standing there in the continent of Africa in the country called Egypt. So, and that mathematical formula to build that pyramid has never been understood by no human on earth. They do not understand how and what the ancient Egyptians, our ancestors, those Africans, what formula mathematically that they used to build the Great Pyramid. So getting back to our subject, the Greeks wanted to be accepted in our ancestors, the Coptic Egyptian Sacred Society. And our ancestors, those grand and glorious Africans in Egypt, refused to accept Alexander because they did not race mix. They had a society that was void of race mixing with other races. So, but they knew, the Greeks knew, that in order to rule Egypt, they had to be accepted in our African ancient Egyptian ancestors' sacred temple society. Rejected. Alexander lived for 9 years after coming in there in 332 BC. And in 323 he died. And one of his army generals by the name of Ptolemy I, Lagi, called Soter, the word S-O-T-E-R means savior. But that is another history. He succeeded Alexander. He himself wanted to be accepted in the sacred temple society of our ancestors, the Coptic Egyptians. They refused to do that. So the Melkite Coptic Egyptians who ran the government of ancient Egypt were being terrorized by these uncivilized, savage, spiritually dead Europeans known as the Greeks. So under threat and under terrorization by these savages, these European Greeks, the Melkite Coptic Egyptians found a temple in Memphis, Egypt. And the priest and priestess in that temple took two of their gods, Osiris, the main deity of ancient Egypt, one of the main deities of ancient Egypt, and Apis, the bull of Memphis. And they made a composite of those two deities by way of making a composite name, Serapis, or Serapis. And they gave that name, Serapis, to the Ptolemy, or the Greek successor of Alexander the Greek. And he said to the rest of the sacred temple society members, now will you accept my image into your temple society? And they still refuse to accept his image. and himself were not allowed to come into those temples. So what he did, he closed down all the temples except the one in Memphis, Egypt, where they had made supposedly his image into a god by giving him the attributes of Osiris and Apis, the bull of Memphis. So with that name, Serapis, he continued to try to get that name of Serapis and himself accepted in the society, the sacred society of ancient Egypt. And our Coptic ancient Egyptian ancestors refused him. They would not allow him in there. So as a result, like I said, he closed down all the temples other than the one in Memphis, Egypt. Now, when you study the Ptolemies, the word Ptolemy means Greek ruler of Egypt. And there were 14 Ptolemies. The first Ptolemy, mind you, had the name of Serapis given to them, or given to him, by the priests and priestess in Memphis, Egypt. So there were 13 others that followed him. And every Greek Ptolemy that followed Ptolemy I, like he called Sota, sat on the throne and ruled Egypt as the vicar of Serapis. The vicar means the same as Serapis. So you have 13 succeeding Ptolemies thereafter the first Ptolemy. You had 14 in all. So all 14 Ptolemies tried to get our ancestors in the secular community in Egypt to accept his image as a god. Refused. So now we're going to go up to the time when the Romans came in 30 BC. So we're going to take from 320 BC, where the name of Serapis was given to the first Ptolemy I Lagi, called Sota, up until the time of the Romans coming into Egypt and into Turkey, because that was Turkey, which is northeast Africa, called the Middle East today, was a land area where Alexander had plundered that land area also. So now we're in northeast Africa with the Romans coming in. And they too tried to get our ancestors in the secular community to accept Serapis, this white image that today, it's very important what I'm about to say, today, Serapis is known as Jesus the Christ. Okay? So I'm going to walk you through the progression of history, how this came all about. So from 320 BCE all the way up into the first Ecumenical Council meeting of 325 CE is a time period of 645 years. So for 645 years, from the time 320 BCE, when the name of Serapis was given to this Ptolemy, from that time, 320, up until 325 is a period of 645 years that these Greeks and now the Romans are trying to get our ancestors in the secular community to accept this Greek image of Serapis as a god. Accept this image in their temple system. And so he could be worshipped alongside of Osiris. Now, mind you, Serapis has the attributes of Osiris. It's very important. So now we're up to the time of the Ecumenical Council of Nicaea I, 325. But there were three historical events I want you, the listening audience, to know that caused the Council of Nicaea I to come about. One event was called and known in history as the Donatist Schismatic Controversy that happened in North Africa in 303 CE. The Donatist Schismatic Controversy goes like this. In the Coptic secular community, the word secular means people just like you and I, people who just ordinary citizens, just ordinary people living in wherever geographical land area you may be living in. You're not a politician, you're not the president, you're not a senator, you're not a Congress person, so you have no power. Only the power that you have is your vote. So now, in the secular community, you had a man by the name of Mansurius. He was asked by Diocletian, who was the co-ruler of Egypt and Northeast Africa and Syria. He was asked, he asked the Coptic secular community to turn over their sacred writings to him. That was done to antagonize them, to show them that he, this European, was in charge, that he controlled them. And Bishop Donatus and the Metropolitan Bishop Secundus told Mansurius, don't do that. Mansurius went ahead and did that. But Donatus and the Bishop Secundus told him to model yourself like your predecessors before you did. So, but he didn't do it. So he turned over those sacred papers, and that caused a split in our secular community in Northeast Africa during that time, 303 CE. Just like if you could remember, in Chicago, you had a brother by the name of Harold Washington running for mayor, and our community supported him, voted for him, and put him on the fifth floor of City Hall in Chicago and made him mayor. When he died in 1987, the white ruling politicians at the time picked a African brother by the name of Eugene Sawyer to be the next mayor, but we didn't want him. We didn't pick him. They, the Europeans, did that. But they did that knowing that that would split our vote. And once our vote was split, that gave us a weakness politically in Chicago. And with that split vote and weakness, in between that chaos came Richard M. Daley, who succeeded to be the mayor of the city of Chicago. So now here you have the same situation. Here in Northeast Africa, under the historical event known in history as the Donatist Schismatic Controversy. And I just explained to you about the Donatist Schismatic Controversy. And now I'm going to explain to you the second event historical event that caused the Council of Nicaea I, 325 to come into being. And that being the donation of Constantine. The donation of Constantine is very important for you to understand because Constantine was the ruler at that time prior to the Council of Nicaea I coming into being. He was the ruler at that time, the Roman ruler. And he reached out. He realized that this split had caused a division and weakness in our Coptic, Egyptian, African community. So he reached out in the Coptic, Egyptian, African community and found a African brother by the name of Sylvester I. And he offered Sylvester what is known in history as the donation of Constantine. The donation of Constantine goes like this. He told Sylvester, if you will get your people, your African brothers and sisters in the secular community to accept Serapis as one of their gods and put Serapis as equal to their god, Osiris, I'll give you my imperial power on a temporal basis, if you could do that. Now, mind you, the Coptic, Egyptian, African community, after the temples were closed down throughout ancient Egypt, they had to go to their homes to continue their spiritual fellowship among each other and to continue to teach their children. So they homeschool their children. So getting back to the schismatic controversy, not only did he offer his imperial power to Sylvester I on a temporal basis, he said, if you accept my offer, all I want you to do is baptize me in your African community. I'll be a part of it. In other words, I'll make you the head HNIC, and everybody in the African community know what the head HNIC means. So I won't go through that. I'll just explain that. So just baptize me in your community, and I'll be a part of you all. That's all. I have no power over that community. Okay? You will have the authority and the power over the community. So Sylvester accepted that offer that's known in history as a donation of Constantine. Now, the third historical event that took place that caused the Council of Nicaea I, 325 to come about was the strong statement by Arius. Arius was a member of the secular Coptic community who said this after Sylvester had accepted the offer that I just told you about, known as the donation of Constantine. Arius said that Serapis was a created creature, dissimilar from the Father. Now, who is the Father? The Father is Osiris. So remember, Serapis has the attributes of Osiris. Okay? And the name Serapis, like I mentioned before, is a combination, a composite of Osiris and Apis, the bull of Memphis. So now, Arius is saying that Serapis is a created creature, dissimilar from the Father, a perfect creature, but a creature nevertheless. With those three things that I just explained to you, those are the three historical events in history human history that caused the Council of Nicaea I to come about. And you can find that in my book, The Historical Origin of Christianity. I'll outline those three things: the Donatist Systematic Controversy, the donation of Constantine, and the strong statement by Arius. Now, at this point, I should have told you before, you need a paper and pen. Get your paper and pen. Go somewhere and get you a piece of paper large enough so you can write and do some drawing on it, okay? So now I'm going to give you a little pause here so you can go and get your paper and pen or pencil, whatever you want to write with and draw with, so you can really understand what I'm talking about and how it makes sense. And what I'm imparting on this show, Tarhaka Mount El Bay show, nobody on earth that I know of will give you this information. I don't know whether they know it or not, but I know this. I know that the Roman Catholic Church know that there is no Jesus Christ historically. They know that, but they're not going to tell you that because it's not in their best interest to do that. See? So therefore, I'm hoping that you got your paper and pen. So let's continue on in the Council of Nicaea. So Sylvester, with his power, under the donation of Constantine, he calls the world's first Ecumenical Council meeting ever held on planet Earth, as known as the Council of Nicaea I, 325 CE. Constantine did not call that meeting. Why? Because Constantine gave his imperial power and authority away to this African brother by the name of Sylvester I. So he didn't call that. So if you heard anything throughout your life or throughout the years that Constantine had anything to do with this council meeting, no, that's not true. Historically incorrect. So now, at this council meeting, they tried to get Serapis. Now, Serapis, let's go back. It's a name given to the successor of Alexander the Great. Today, Serapis is known as Jesus the Christ, that dead white man that's hanging on the cross in all these churches throughout the world. So, this is how it happened. I want you to take your paper and pen, and I want you to begin to write. Tarhaka, you got your paper and pen?
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right, let's begin to write. At the very top, I want you to write the ancient Egyptian African triad, T-R-A-I-D. The African ancient Egyptian triad. Now, mind you, these first 4 council meetings are called by the Melkite Coptic Egyptians because they had what? They had the power of the donation of Constantine. They had the authority to call these council meetings, the first 4 of the 9. So I want you to draw a line under what you just written. Draw a line on there all the way across your paper.
Okay.
Now, the next thing I want you to do is go to the extreme left, and I want you to draw a circle. Before you draw that circle, you need to come down about maybe an inch or so, or an inch and a half, under that line before you draw that circle.
Okay.
And I want you to have a space in between that circle because you're going to draw a circle in the middle, so you need to have a little space in there.
Okay.
And you come down inch and a half above, leave an inch and a half above that circle. Then go to the extreme right. After you have a space in between the middle circle, go to the extreme right and draw another circle coming down from that line that you've drawn all the way across that paper, about an inch and a half.
Okay.
Now, under that circle, you leave a little space, and you draw another circle under that circle on the right, the extreme right.
Okay.
And then go back to the middle circle. Leave a little space under that, and draw another circle under that.
Okay.
See? Now, go all the way to the left, the first circle that you draw, and you put and write Osiris, Osiris, Osiris.
Okay.
Above that, you write God and Father. God and Father.
Okay.
The middle circle, I want you to go and write Horus or Haru, Horus.
Okay.
Above that circle, I want you to write S-U-N, the sun.
Oh.
The sun.
S-U.
The S-U-N.
Okay. All right, I got it.
Go all the way to your extreme right on the third circle, and you write Isis, I-S-I-S, or
okay.
a set, or Isis, I-S-I-S.
I got it.
Above that circle, you're going to write Goddess, Mother, or Mother, Goddess, Mother, Goddess.
Okay.
And under that last circle that's to the right, under Isis, you're going to write the name of, under that circle, under Isis circle, you're going to write the Virgin Mary. The Virgin Mary.
Okay.
And you're going to go to the middle circle, and you got a little space under there where you got Haru or Horus's name. You're going to write Serapis under that. S-E-R-I-P-S. S-E-R-A-P. Serapis.
I got it.
S-E-R-A-P-I-S. S-E-R-A-P-I-S. You got that?
I got it.
Okay. Now, this is all that was happening at the Council of Nicaea I, called by the Africans, the Melkites, to try to make this white male that was a successor of Alexander the Greek a god. Trying to do that. Mind you, again, that this image that we know today as Jesus Christ, that white image on that cross, that white male, dead white man on that cross, is the image of the successor of Alexander the Greek. Okay, under the name of Serapis. Now, what the Melkite Coptic Egyptians was doing, mind you, again, the Melkite Coptic Egyptians are our African ancestors. Okay? And this is what they was trying to do for the European. They're trying to make him a god. See? We didn't need all of that. Mind you, I want you to really understand this. This Christianity and this Christ that you see hanging on the wall was created by our ancestors for him, for the European, not for them.
Mm-hmm.
We should clear that up. Now, the Melkites took Horus, the S-U-N. Now, under the name of Serapis, S-E-R-A-P-I-S, you put under that circle the S-O-N.
Yes.
You got that?
Got it.
Right. Okay. Now, what the Melkite Coptic Egyptians did at this council meeting, the council, Ecumenical Council of Nicaea I, 325 CE, they took Horus or Horu out of that African ancient Egyptian divine triad. So I want you to put an X through the name of Horus.
X through the name of Horus. Okay.
Horus, the middle circle.
Got it.
And I want you to put an X through the S-U-N. Put an S through the sun. See, Horus was the S-U-N of Osiris and Isis. It was the S-U-N of Osiris and Isis. So cross that S-U-N out.
Mm-hmm.
So now, what they did was that they took the S-O-N, this white image now, and made him the son of Osiris, the S-O-N of Osiris, a created creature. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, in so doing, they eliminated the real, true son of Osiris and Isis. And they amalgamated those two together. And they said, now, with this amalgamation being done, they said, this is the homogeneous creed. They call it the homogeneous creed. The homogeneous creed simply means God. Now, who is God? Osiris. The Father, Osiris. God, the Father, Osiris. God, the Son. Now, who is the Son? Serapis. Because they eliminated Horus or Haru and took this S-O-N and made this S-O-N, this white image that we know today as Jesus Christ, then known as Serapis, made this white image the Son, the S-O-N, of Osiris.
Okay.
Okay? So today, into Christian theology, they say that Jesus the Christ is the Son of man. See? Now, man, mind you, can only create creatures. They cannot create anything with life in it unless that man mated with a female. Can't do it by himself. What they say in today's theology, that Jesus the Christ is the Son of man. That means that he's a creature, created creature. And the Christians don't know that. Why? Because they have been passed a disease to them by their parents at the time of their birth. This disease and virus is called Christianity. So, again, like I said, all religions are based on one's human belief, thus giving any religion that you believe in life. See? So now here, with the amalgamation of Osiris, which is God and Father, with the Son, S-O-N, which is Serapis, they said that God the Father, God the Son, the same, homogeneous. So that's what went on at the council, the world's first ecumenical council meeting in Turkey. Okay? It took place in Nicaea, Turkey. And in my book, The Historical Origin of Christianity, I'll talk about and tell you about the breakdown, the down systematic controversies, donation by Constantine, and a strong statement by Arius. I also give you a map of Turkey in northeast Africa and show you where all the council meetings were held by way of this map in my book. Northeast Turkey today is called the Middle East. But that's a political name. The geographical area, that area is called Northeast Africa. So that's the first ecumenical council. That's what went on at the first ecumenical council, Brother Tarhaka.
Okay. Now, we got our second council meeting of Constantinople I at 381 CE. What took place there?
Well, we're talking about 56 years later, after the council of Nicaea I was called. And I gave you all the history to that council meeting. So now we're going to go into the second ecumenical council meeting, 56 years later, after the council of Nicaea I was called in 325 CE. So now, remind you that at the council of Nicaea I, by the amalgamation of Serapis being made by way of amalgamation, the son of Osiris, who is God and Father, which they call the Homogeneous Creed, with the two together. Osiris is being God and Father, and Serapis being the S-O-N, the son of Osiris. That's homogeneous. So what caused the council 56 years later, that is known in history as the Council of Constantinople I in 381 to come about, was that the Roman rulers wanted the secular community, our ancestors, those Coptic Egyptian Africans living in the secular community, to accept the homogeneous creed, because they wanted to make it the creed of the Roman Empire. And our ancestors refused to do that. So, as a result, of them not accepting the Moses Creed, here come Theodosius, who had succeeded Alexander, because Alexander died in 335 CE. Before he died, he found an area in northeast Africa called Byzantium, the city of Byzantium. And he took the city of Byzantium and made it the capital of his empire. And that he changed the name of Byzantium, the city of Byzantium, to Constantinople, naming after himself. So today, as I speak, Constantinople is known as Istanbul, Turkey. So this is what Constantine did before he died. That's how you get the name Constantinople. So now we at the Council of Constantinople I. Again, Theodosius was the ruling emperor, and he tried to get the members in the Coptic Egyptian community to accept the homogeneous creed, because he wanted to make that creed the creed of the Roman Empire. Okay? And our ancestors refused to accept that title. of the homogeneous creed, because they knew historically how it came about. So that's caused a brother by the name of African brother in the Coptic community who was one of the members under the who had the donation of Constantine. See, the donation of Constantine again gave our brothers in the African community authority over our ancestors' secular community and also over the Melkite Coptic Egyptian community. You see, the word Coptic Egyptians mean a descendant of the ancient Egyptians. That's what the word Coptic Egyptians means. So they had authority over that community, whereby under the donation of Constantine given to Sylvester I by Constantine, like I told you, in 313 and 314, giving his imperial authority away and the rulership over the Coptic secular community and the Melkite secular community. So when our Coptic African Egyptian members in the African Coptic Egyptian secular community refused to accept the homogeneous creed as a creed of the Roman government, Theodosius began to put a curfew on our ancestors in the secular Coptic Egyptian community. Bishop Ambrose came and reminded him, said, you can't do this. You have no authority over that community, our community, because every succeeding emperor had to be baptized, just like just like Constantine did under Sylvester power of authority. So every succeeding emperor after that had to be baptized in our community, thus giving away his power of authority. So Ambrose, who had in his authority, the donation of Constantine, had to remind Theodosius, say, you can't do this. You have no power, no authority over our community. So that's what went down in history during that time, 381, which is 56 years after the first Ecumenical Council meeting was called, 325. That's historically what went down in our community during that time in history and during that council meeting. So we want to continue on to the next council meeting. Brother Tarhaka?
Okay, well, that will be the council meeting of Ephesus. That'll be 431 CE. So what was that about?
Well, we're talking about 50 years after the second council meeting, the Council of Constantinople I of 381. So 50 years later, the Melkite Coptic Egyptians still trying to make this white, I put it like this white man a god. Okay? Still trying to do that. Still trying to appease him, because they were constantly under terrorization coming from the European Greeks. So what happened at the Council of Ephesus, which is the most important ecumenical council meeting ever held on planet Earth. Now, mind you, I want to let the listening audience know, I'm giving you the historical progression of how Christianity came about, the foundation of it, how this image that we know today as Jesus Christ, I'm going to back, how this image that we know today hanging on that cross got to be on that cross, and how Christianity got to be Christianity as being used and practiced throughout the world by all races of people. But it started right in northeast Africa, in and North Africa, in Egypt and in Northeast Africa, started developing. So therefore, let's continue on what went on at Ephesus. Still trying to make this image that we know today as Jesus, as Serapis, as then known as Serapis, known today as Jesus Christ, a God. So, I want you to do this. We had the Council of Ephesus, 431, and we have talked about at the Council of Nicaea I how the Melchite Coptic Egyptians, what they did there. And I showed you what to do on your drawing, what names to take out and what names to put in. So now, at this council meeting, just prior to this council meeting, you still had the polemic going on in the secular community against the Melchite community. It's an argument, polemic. Okay? Here you have the monophysites on the scene, led by Eutyches, the father of monophysitism. The word monophysite means an individual who only thinks that Serapis at that time only had an Osiris-like spirit, but no human nature. Very important. He had an Osiris-like spirit, the argument was over, but no human nature. And one has to realize, in order to have a human nature, you've got to be born through the body of a female. Understand that. In order to have a human nature, one has to be born through the body of a female. Very important. So, Eutyches, the father of monophysitism, said that Serapis had an Osiris-like spirit, but no human nature. No human nature. Again, in order to have a human nature, one has to be born through the body of a female. Very important. There was another monophysite individual by the name of Nestorius. Because when the Melchite Coptic Egyptian created this non-human created creature called the Virgin Mary, they gave this non-human created creature, the Virgin Mary, the title of Theotokos. The word Theotokos means the mother of God. Okay? And he said, I cannot accept the Theotokos in the Virgin Mary, but I will accept the Christotokos, meaning the mother of Christ. Now, again, this council meeting, Council of Ephesus, was called to give this Serapis a human nature. Serapis, like I said before, I will continue to say, Serapis today is known as Jesus the Christ, a human nature. In order to do that, an individual has to be born through the body of a female. So, with that being said, the Melchite Coptic Egyptians went into that third circle that I told you to write with the name of Isis. I told you to print in there. Mm-hmm. And they took Isis out of that. I want you to draw an X through that name, Isis.
Okay.
And they gave the attributes of Isis after they created a created creature known today, a non-human created creature known today as the Virgin Mary. They created the Virgin Mary for the sole purpose of giving this Serapis a human nature. So they gave her the title of Mother Goddess. and gave this created non-human creature called the Virgin Mary the attributes or the ka of Isis, the spirit of Isis. The word Ka means spirit of Isis. Okay? And when this was done, they said that she was the Theotokos. Back to that word again, Theotokos. She was the Theotokos, the mother of God. Talking about who's the mother of God? Isis. Who is the mother of God? The created creature called the Virgin Mary. Okay. Now, you have two created creatures, Serapis, and the created creature, the non-human created creature called the Virgin Mary. And what the Melchite Coptic Egyptians did, they amalgamated the two created creatures in order for this Serapis to have a human nature. And once the amalgamation was done, they said, speaking Greek, now this is the Christos. The Christos in Greek means now this is the Christ in English. And that's how they took Serapis, and now he's the Christ. He's no longer Serapis anymore. They created a mother for him. They gave this created creature, non-human, the Virgin Mary, the attributes and the ka of Isis. And going back to the Council of Nicaea I, they gave the attributes or the ka of Horus to Serapis. So now he's got the ka of Horus in him. See? So now here you have the creation of Christ now. There's a problem. The problem is this, Brother Tarhaka, is this. In the African ancient Egyptian divine triad, you got two of the African deities taken out of there by the Melchite Coptic Egyptians at the Council of Ephesus. So now, Horus is the son of Osiris, but he's a white male figure. The mother of this white male figure is the created non-human creature called the Virgin Mary. You see? So now, with these two white images, the created creature called Christ used to be called Serapis, the created creature called the Virgin Mary, and leaves only one African in the African ancient Egyptian divine triad, and that's Osiris. So here you have a deity, an ancient Egyptian deity, Osiris in Africa, having a white son who has a white mother. Nothing is wrong with that. So it's very odd. So to diminish or to eradicate any doubt or suspicion about these two being the Son of God and the Mother of God, Isis, Son of God, Christ now. What they did, the Melchite Coptic Egyptians took Osiris out of that triad and made him invisible. So the world today don't see him anymore as being African. They only think about, they put this in your mind, about God, an invisible God. I asked a young lady last week when I saw her, she's talking about God. I said, have you ever seen God? And she looked up at me and she says, no. And that's the purpose of this. Made him invisible. See? So no human on earth at this time in history, world history, will ever know that the father of Christ was an African at first. But those Melchite Coptic Egyptians made Osiris invisible. Okay? Now, by making him invisible, in today's theology, as I speak, they will tell you that God sent his spirit to impregnate the Virgin Mary by Immaculate Conception. You heard of that, right, John?
Right,
okay.
Right.
So what they did, the Melchite Coptic Egyptians did, they took the Ka, the spirit of Osiris, and impregnated or gave that spirit of Osiris to this non-human creature called the Virgin Mary. So now this Virgin Mary has the Ka of Osiris in her, has the Ka of Isis in her. And with those two Kas in her, they amalgamated this created creature, non-human, called Serapis, with the non-human created creature called the Virgin Mary. Both Kas in her. And with this amalgamation being done, the Coptic Melchite Egyptian says, now this is the Christos. Speaking Greek, and Christos in Greek means, in English means to Christ. So that's how that Christ was created, right there at Ephesus. That's how the created non-human called the Virgin Mary was created, right there. So that's what went on at the Council of Ephesus. The most important ecumenical council meeting, I said, that ever happened on planet Earth. See? So this is the information that I'm imparting over your show, the Tarhaka Mount El Bay show, that no one that I know of on Earth, and I'm not trying to make myself all puffed up. No. I'm saying that I'm the only one I know of has this information, and I'm imparting this information onto our African community. I want them to know how this white image on the cross that they worship, that they call Jesus Christ, being worshipped all over, especially by us Africans in the African community in America and throughout the world, and especially in Africa also. How this created creature, both created creatures, came about. So today, as I speak, Brother Tarhaka, the people today of this world are not getting the information and the progression of history, how this image was created. But they're getting what I call a European form of Christianity. And we'll get into that a little later. So that's what went on at the Council of Nicaea I. I'm sorry, the Council of Ephesus.
Of Ephesus.
Okay.
So they was, in these council meetings, they was passing the attributes from the real people onto some created creature that they was creating.
Right.
Now we come to the Council of Chalcedon at 451 CE.
Okay. The Council of Chalcedon, 451
right.
CE. Okay? That happened 20 years after the Council of Ephesus took place. Now, mind you, Serapis is no longer out there by name, by word, but Serapis has become Christ. So the argument was still going on between the Melkite Coptic Egyptians, who, like I said before, were the ruling Coptic African Egyptians who ran the government of ancient Egypt, and the secular community, which is now the Monophysites. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They had a polemic. The polemic is still going. The Monophysites never accepted what went on at the Council of Ephesus or any other council meeting.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't accept it. So now they're trying to get the community to come together and accept this Christ now. So what the Melkite Coptic Egyptians did at the Council of Chalcedon 451, that was held in Chalcedon, Turkey, they created two names to try to give this Christ a human nature. That's the argument the Monophysites and the Melkites had over whether this Serapis, now known as Jesus Christ today, had a human nature or not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that argument went on, still raging. Now, another thing I want to clear to our listening audience. The world's first Christians on earth were not Ethiopians. So I want you to take that out of your mind. Historically, that's incorrect. A lot of our theologians and historians think that Christianity started in Ethiopia. No, it didn't. It started right there at Ephesus after the creation of Christ, after Serapis was created into the Christ. The Melkite Coptic Egyptians became the world's first Christians on earth. They were diaphysitic Christians. The word diaphysitic means an individual who believes in the two natures of Christ. One, a spiritual nature and a human nature. You're going to get this argument about the spiritual nature and human nature as we go forward. So the Melkite Coptic Egyptians, became the world's first Christians on earth. So now we at the Council of Chalcedon, 20 years after Ephesus. The Melkite Coptic Egyptians still trying to get Serapis accepted and try to end the polemic or the argument between the two factions, the Monophysites and the Melkite Coptic Egyptian community, by bringing up two words or creating two words that they applied to this Christ now. The word persepone. In the word persepone, you have persons in there. The word person. Mm-hmm. If you look up person in your dictionary, you will find that a person is a human being. Okay? That's what person means. A human being. The second name that they tried to give this Christ a human nature by using the name of consubstantiality. Consubstantiality, meaning the third person in the Trinity.
Mm-hmm.
Consubstantiality, meaning that along with persepone, he indeed had a human nature. But the Monophysites refused to accept that. See? So that's what went on at the Council of Chalcedon, Brother Tarhaka.
Okay, now we had another meeting, number 5, the Council of Constantinople II in 553 CE.
Okay. Well, let me take you on a historical journey before we get to the Council of Constantinople II, 553, which is the fifth council meeting.
Right.
Okay. That council meeting was called in 553 by Justinian. But this is how, historically, how it happened. Right after the Council of Chalcedon in 451, in 474, there was a Byzantine emperor by the name of Zeno. He controlled northeast Africa and Egypt from 474 to 491. And what he did was try to get the two factions, the Monophysites and the Melkites, Africans, together to stop the polemic or stop the argument. Okay? Just to end the argument. So what he did, he commissioned an African brother by the name of Cassius I, in 482, to come up with what is known in history as the Henoticon, Henotican, the Henoticon decree, Henotican, Henoticon. Now, what is the Henoticon? The Henoticon is a decree that Cassius brought forth to try to end the polemic between the Monophysites and the Melkite community. This decree, if the Monophysites and the Melkite would accept this decree, had the sole intent of having the first four Ecumenical Council meetings being accepted by both the Melkites and the Monophysites. They accept this decree, which had the four previous council meetings under the name of the Henoticon being accepted by both factions, the Melkites and the Monophysites, that will end that argument. Okay? The Monophysites and the Melkites both rejected that. They didn't. They weren't going to be a part of that. Okay? The Monophysites says, "No, I'm not going to accept what went on in Nicaea I, 325. I'm not going to accept what went on at the Council of Constantinople I, 381. I'm not going to accept the council meeting of Ephesus, what went on there at 431. I'm not going to accept the council meeting of the Council of Chalcedon in 451. Not going to do that." So that went by its side. So now you're going to progress through the next emperor that came to power was Nicaea I, 491 to 518. And after him came Justin I, 518 to 535. And after Justin came his nephew, Justinian I.
Mm-hmm.
See? Now, just during the reign of Justinian I, go back to the Council of Chalcedon, 451. 81 years after the council meeting of Chalcedon, 481, in 532, Justinian had ordered the Coptic Egyptians to design and build the world's first Christian church ever built on planet Earth. That church is known in history as the Church of Hagia Sophia. I write about that in my Historical Origin of Christianity, and my wife, Arnetta, has a chapter in my second book, Historical Origin of Islam, as to what happened to the Church of Hagia Sophia. So in 532, Justinian commissioned African builders and African architects to build the world's first Christian church on earth in Constantinople, Turkey, northeast Africa, known in history as the Church of Hagia Sophia, or the Church of Mary and Christ, Church of the Holy Wisdom, another name for Christ, Holy Wisdom.
Okay.
So, when that church was built, he had in his mind, says, now it's time for me to take back the donation of Constantine. Why? Because the Europeans had gotten what they want from our African brothers in the Melkite Coptic Egyptian community. They got what they wanted from them. So now it's time to take back that authority that was given to them by Constantine to Sylvester in 313 and 314 CE. At that time, the African brother who had that donation of Constantine as an authority over the Coptic Egyptian community, not diminishing the authority over that community by the Roman emperor, was a brother by the name, an African brother by the name of Epaphatus. He had that donation of Constantine. Epaphatus was asked by Justinian to turn over the donation of Constantine to him. Epaphatus refused to do that. And if you read in history about Epaphatus, he was mysteriously found dead. Justinian had him murdered. Then the authority of the donation of Constantine went to another African brother by the name of Silverius.
Okay.
Justinian had his army general and his wife to serve treason papers on Silverius to make him turn over the donation of Constantine. He refused to do that. So what they did, they put him in jail, and that's where he died. And the donation of Constantine went to another African brother by the name of Vigilius. And he was asked by Justinian to turn over to him the donation of Constantine, so Justinian can have authority over the world's first Christian church. He refused to do that. He says, no, I'm not going to do that. So, Justinian had an advisor by the name of Theodore Acidus, who advised Justinian as a way to get back to the donation of Constantine. He says, go to Vigilius and tell Vigilius and ask him, will he take communion with the Monophysites? And knowing full well that Vigilius was going to say no, and that will give him an excuse to murder him. So he went, as he was advised by his African advisor, Theodore Acidus, and asked Vigilius to turn over to him the donation of Constantine. And he refused to do that. So, in 555, Vigilius was found mysteriously dead. Found him dead. But before that happened, Justinian, 2 years before that happened, Justinian had called a council meeting the Fifth Ecumenical Council meeting, because he did not recognize the donation of Constantine in the hands of Africans anymore. So he called that Fifth Council meeting, the world's first four council meetings, Nicaea I, Constantinople I, Ephesus, and Chalcedon, was called by Africans who had the authority under the donation of Constantine to call that council meeting. But now, in 553, Justinian called that council meeting, the Council of Constantinople II. And he didn't have the authority under the donation of Constantine, but he took the authority anyway to call that council meeting, because Vigilius refused to give him and turn over to him the donation of Constantine. And at that council meeting, the Council of Constantinople II, Justinian appointed African brothers by the name of Pelagius I to become the first African pope or papa to be the head of the Hagia Sophia. Okay? So now, 2 years after the Council of Constantinople II, 553, like I said, Vigilius was found mysteriously dead, 555. So now at the Council of Constantinople II, called by Justinian, he took authority without being given the authority of the donation of Constantine. And he made himself, by taking, without authority, the donation of Constantine, he wanted to have the first opportunity to be the head of that church of Hagia Sophia. So, but the completion of Christianity, as we know it today, was not complete. So he offered and gave and made the first African the vicar of Christ. That was Pelagius I. He became the vicar of Christ, African, sitting on the seat as being the vicar of Christ and the patriarch of the Hagia Sophia. Okay? Patriarch, remember now, of the Hagia Sophia. The first patriarch, again, was Pelagius, Africa. Okay? The second patriarch of the Hagia Sophia was another African by the name of John III. He was the second African who succeeded Pelagius as being sitting on the throne or in the seat where the Pope today in Rome sits, and who is the vicar of Christ. The word vicar means the same as. So they sit on the throne. These African brothers sat on the throne in the Hagia Sophia in Constantinople, Turkey, in Northeast Africa, the world's first Christian church. Then the vicar of Serapis, or Christ. See? So now, Justinian, by doing this, just became another person in the African community by way of being the Roman emperor. He took back the donation of Constantine to make him the Roman emperor. Now also, he appointed the Patriarch of Constantinople. These things I'm talking about is kind of technical, so you have to bear along with me, get the dictionary or either a encyclopedia and follow or read my books and more than once and try to get an understanding of what I'm saying. It's very technical. See?
Right.
So now, Justinian made the African brother the patriarch of the Hagia Sophia, meaning that he was the vicar of Christ. That this Church of Hagia Sophia also was the Church of the West, Rome. See? But it was not physically in Rome. It was physically in Northeast Africa, today called the Middle East, in Constantinople, Turkey, today called Istanbul, Turkey, in Africa. Okay? And the patriarch of Constantinople was another African who was actually a monophysite. See? Trying to the argument down between the monophysites and the Melkites by appointing and giving an office in the world's first Christian church. And this world's first Christian church is also the world's first university for European males, hand-picked males. Only a few went in there with that was being taught by an African faculty. See? So here you have the African brothers sitting on the chair as the vicar of the Hagia Sophia, the vicar of Christ, who was the patriarch of the Hagia Sophia. You have another African brother who is the patriarch of Constantinople. The patriarch of Hagia Sophia was a diaphysitic Melkite Coptic Egyptian picked by Justinian. The patriarch of Constantinople was a monophysite who was picked by Justinian. So you have to know the two. So that's what went on at the council, the Fifth Ecumenical Council meeting. Brother Tarhaka, if you want to take a break, I can understand that.
Okay, well, no, I'm following this here straight down. We only have a few more to go. I will take a little quick break, and when we come back, then we can take up so we get to the end. So y'all hold on.
Okay.
We'll take a little quick
break.
That'd
be good.
Okay.
This is Moorish Talk Live 100. Thanks for listening. We'll be right back.
Next level.
right, everybody, we're back, and we're going to go in and finish up with the rest of these council meetings. This is very, very interesting. Dr. Williams, are you with us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I hear you loud and clear. Okay. We come down to the next Council of Constantinople meeting, 3 at 680 CE. Well, what took place there?
Well, you have to know the history prior to that meeting, and that history that I want to tell you about caused the Council of Constantinople III to come about in 680.
Okay.
I'm going to start you off with Heracles, who was a Roman Byzantine ruler at that time. His time was 610 CE to 641 CE.
Mm-hmm.
And mind you, what was going on, Brother Tarhaka, was still the polemic or the argument between the Monophysites and the Melkites, still going on all these years. So what he did to try to bring the two factions together was that he asked an African brother by the name of Sergius I to create a decree that will be acceptable to both factions. And the decree that he brought forth, Sergius brought forth, is known in history as the Ecumenical. Ecumenical, meaning, or let me take the spelling of it first. Ectheis, the Ecumenical. Ectheis. And the Ecumenical was a doctrine that asked the Monophysites, would they accept the one will in Christ? They said no. Would you accept the one energy in Christ? He says no.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, the one will and the one energy in the Ecumenical is called the monothelete, one will, and monothelete, one energy. Monothelete, L-E-T, one will in Christ. Monothelete, L-I-T-E, which means the one energy in Christ. And both statements are both rejected that decree. So therefore, they couldn't get together on that. But keep in mind about monotheletism and monothelitism, one will and one energy. Keep that in mind. Now, the next rulers that came in after Heracles was Constantine III. See? Now he came in, they came in rather, in 641. Still was a polemic going on between the Monophysites and the Melkites. So what they did was to get African brothers to draw up another decree that they hoped to be accepted by the Monophysites and the Melkite community. And that decree is known in history as the Typus, Typos, or Typus, one of the two. All this is documented in history. All you do is start researching and it'll come up. So that decree, the Typus, was a decree that says we're going to put an end to the fears. Because we're not going to talk about this Christ having one will and one energy. We're going to eliminate that. by this decree known in history as the typus. Okay? Now, that's this after they went out as a ruler. You had Constantine IV came in. In 675. He was the one that called the council, which is the Sixth Ecumenical Council, meaning to come about in 680.
Okay.
At that council meeting, Constantine IV eliminated the one will and the one energy. He eliminated the monotheism and the monotheism. He eliminated it altogether. He said, we're not going to have none of that. And he chastised the patriarch, the African brother who was the patriarch of the Hagia Sophia, sitting on the seat as being the vicar of Serapis. He chastised him for not arguing against fake theists, the monotheism and monotheism. You should have put up a stronger argument against that. And by him not doing that, that created a dissension and an argument and grumbling in the Melkite Coptic Egyptian community. So Constantine IV didn't want that. So he made the patriarch of the Hagia Sophia, the African brother that he appointed as the patriarch of the Hagia Sophia, to apologize to the community. So that his apology made that community, which they accepted the apology, come together again. Then what he did after that, he came back and made monotheism stronger. He says that Christ had two energies. And he had two wills. So he made monotheism and monotheism in Christ, he doubled it. So we have no discretion. No one had no more discretion about this. So today, he declared, or that day he declared in 680, that this Christ had indeed two wills and two energies. He had double monotheism and double monotheism. So that's what went on at the Council of Constantinople III.
Okay. Well, we come down to the seventh council meeting, the council meeting of Hieria.
Council of Hieria, 754. Now, you must know some history, or I must tell you some history before that council meeting came about and what caused that council meeting to come about. During that time, in world history, you had a lot of usurping going on. In other words, the Roman Byzantine Empire was being usurped by anybody who had stronger power to topple the Roman emperor. So now we're going to come up to a man by the name of Philopaeus. He was a usurper. His time was 711 to 713. Philopaeus. This is very important. Very important. By them usurping the Roman emperors and their government so often, they have a usurper every year, every 2 years, or however, whoever wants to come up and be the stronger guy to take over the control of the Roman Empire did it. So here we have Philopaeus. 711, 713 as being one of those usurpers. Now, what he did was something very different. To get the people, now, you have remember, there's a double-walled city there. And inside the double-walled city, you have the city of Constantinople.
Right.
See? So now, what he did to let the people know that he was the emperor at that time, 711, 713, he had an artist paint his picture. And they took this picture and his paintings of his pictures and put them all throughout Constantinople. Everywhere they can put up his picture, even on the door, on the gates that led into the city of Constantinople, had his picture put there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is another thing that's very important. The next person that took over the rule of the Roman Empire was a usurper. When he came to power, and mind you, all the Roman emperors after Justinian, starting with Justinian, can now appoint an African brother to be the patriarch of the Hagia Sophia, or to sit on the throne of the Hagia Sophia, the world's first Christian church, and represent Christ as the vicar. It became the vicar of Christ. So now, this brother who was on the throne of the Hagia Sophia, as the patriarch of the Hagia Sophia, the vicar of Christ, told the person that took his place by the next usurper, who appointed this new person to take his place. He told him, said, now listen, I'm going to give you an idea. As you know, they have this polemic between the male Coptic African community and the monophysite Coptic African community. He says, yes. He said, I suggest you to paint, this is very important, paint the picture of Christ and put Christ all over the double-walled city of Constantinople. And as you know, the old adage says, a picture is worth more than 1,000 words.
Mm-hmm.
So when a person sees a picture, a human being sees a picture of someone, another supposed human, being depicted in this picture, they think that this individual was a real live human being that walked the earth at one time. And they put this Christ picture all throughout the city of Constantinople. Moving up some years in history. Now comes the rule of Leo III, 718. You see? He took over the rulership and became the Roman emperor.
Mm-hmm.
He had so much confusion going on there about that picture of Christ being put all over Constantinople. He had a picture of Christ taken down. No, take all that down. And he had two brothers to write a decree. He asked Constantine the Black and Thomas, those two African brothers, to write a decree denouncing that picture of Christ being put all over Constantinople that he had taken down. And the decree that these two brothers wrote is known in history as iconoclasm. That decree, meaning breaking of the image. Breaking that image, they call it iconoclasm. And he issued that, made it a decree of his Roman Byzantine Empire. See? Now, that takes us up to the seventh council meeting, the council meeting of Hyria. This is a council meeting that I haven't heard anyone talk about, but it's in my book, Historical Origin of Islam. His son, Leo the third's son, called that council meeting because he took over, became the Roman Byzantine emperor after his father died. And he called that council meeting because there was still uneasiness and argument in that community. He called that council meeting the Council of Hyria I to, let's say, enforce iconoclasm. In other words, he called that meeting, he said this is a law of the land now, law of the Roman Empire. That's how that council meeting was called and why it was called. It was in Hyria, Turkey. And that is known in history as the Council of Hyria. It was called to enforce iconoclasm that his father had asked those two African brothers, Constantine the Black and Thomas, to create this decree to eliminate iconoclasm, meaning the breaking of the image, to break that image, to get rid of it. That's known in history as iconoclasm. And at the Council of Hyria, his son, after his death, called that council meeting in 754 to enforce the breaking of the image, or iconoclasm, and made it the decree of the Roman Empire. Okay? So what's your next council meeting, Brother Tarhaka?
Next council meeting will be the second council meeting of Nicaea. That's number 8. It'll be Nicaea II in 787.
Okay. Now, at that council meeting, which is the 8th Ecumenical Council meeting, you had Constantine you had Leo the IV as being the head of the Roman government. He became the Roman emperor after his father, Constantine the V, had died. So he took over the rule. I'm getting an echo now. So he took over that rule. And caused I'm still getting the echo. So when he took over after his father had died, he's known in history as Leo the IV. And when he took over the rule of the Roman government, becoming the Roman emperor, he was married to a woman by the name of Irene, and they had a son who was 10 years old at that time. Okay, and the other politicians of that time, let's say you had senators and you had representatives and so forth and so on, like we have today. That gives the people an idea of what I'm talking about. They convinced Irene to enforce iconoclasm, whereby Leo the third's son had enforced iconoclasm at the Council of High. I'm getting an echo. So they convinced her that they would make her, they gave her an offer, that we will make you an empress of, and give you the authority as being a Roman emperor. But you, instead of being a Roman emperor, you'll be a Roman empress.
Okay.
And what we're going to do, Irene, in order for you to do that, because we're going to have to kill your husband. These people are vicious. Kill your husband. She went along with that. She agreed. She said, okay. Because if her husband had died, the authority of the Roman Empire would go to their son, because the boy was only 10 years old at that time. So they made the offer to Irene. And she accepted that offer. And she herself called the Council of Nicaea II to come about in 787 to bring back and enforce iconoclasm. Okay? And at that council meeting, they declared that this Christ was God. See? And they enforced iconoclasm as being the law of the Roman Empire. So that's what some of the things that went on at the Council of Nicaea II. And you can read more about it in my book, Historical Origin of Islam, as to some more that went on there at the Council of Nicaea II, 325. So we're going to move on now, Brother Harker, to the last.
You got the last one. Meeting. That's the Council of Constantinople IV, 869 and 870 CE.
Okay. That's called the Phocius Philippi Council meeting that took place in Constantinople, called the Council of Constantinople IV, 869 and 870. It's called, why? Because they had a controversy known in history as the Phocius Philippi controversy. Phocius was the man. The Philippi is Jesus the Christ. That's another name for Christ, Philippi. See? And people today, they sit in these churches, they don't know what went on. They just sit up there believing in stuff. They don't know how it came about, nothing. You see? So, Barnabas was the Roman emperor at that time, and Phocius was the teacher of his children. Phocius was a monophysite, and Barnabas wanted Phocius to be the patriarch of Constantinople. Again, the patriarch of Constantinople is a monophysite. The patriarch of the Hagia Sophia is a diphysitic Christian. Diphysitic means he believes in the two natures of Christ. See, so that's the difference. So Barnabas, who was the Roman emperor at that time, wanted Phocius, who was the teacher of his children, to become the patriarch of Constantinople. He was a monophysite. The patriarch of Hagia Sophia refused to recognize him because what happened was that part of his staff, I'm talking about part of the patriarch of the Hagia Sophia staff, the Melkite Coptic Egyptians, they were ordered to initiate Phocius in this office of authority, which is the patriarch of Constantinople, a monophysite. And this infuriated the Melkite Coptic Egyptian who was sitting on the throne, being the vicar of Christ. He didn't like that. In the Photius Philocry controversy, what made it a controversy is that Photius refused to accept the Philocry in the creed. He refused to accept Christ in the creed. See, the word Philocry again means Christ. So he refused to accept the Philocry or Christ in the creed. What creed am I talking about? The creed of Nicaea I. Go back to Nicaea I. You see, when they took Serapis and inserted him in the creed there, Nicaea I made Serapis the son, S-O-N, of Osiris. So Photius refused to accept the Philocry in the creed. And that was caused the polemic right there at that time in world history. It's called the Photius Philocry controversy. So those are your 9 Ecumenical Council meetings that took place in Turkey before the seat of Christianity was moved out of northeast Africa into the from the double-walled city of Constantinople, from the church, world's first Christian church, the Hagia Sophia, moved into Rome, on the outskirts of Rome, where the Vatican is today. That's the second seat of Christianity. So the day when that seat was moved over there, they changed Christianity all together. Give you European and created European Christianity. So today you have the Last Supper. The Last Supper is only a drawing by Leonardo da Vinci, who has to come and live in the Vatican, on the Vatican ground, near the latter part of the 15th century. And he drew the Last Supper. It was Christ surrounded with 12 disciples. And they attached a story to it and fed it to the believers. The believers believed that Christ had the night and was sitting around with his disciples eating his Last Supper. And they put Theodore Silas in there as being the one who portrayed Christ with 30 pieces of silver and so forth and so on. Also, Leonardo da Vinci created what is known as the crucifixion. He drew a picture of this dead white man being nailed to a cross, called the crucifixion. And they put a story to that, said that the Jews brought this Christ to Pontius Pilate and said, kill him, and so forth and so on. So everybody knows that lie. Then he drew a picture of Mary Magdalene. And you know, they attached the story to that. Said Mary Magdalene went to the grave of Jesus. And upon arriving at the grave of Jesus, she saw a stone that had been rolled back. And she looked down on the grave of Jesus, and Jesus was not there. It was an empty grave, and that Jesus had ascended on to heaven with his Father, God. All that kind of foolishness. You see? So then you have the picture of the piety, which is a picture of a grown Jesus the Christ laying across the lap of his mother, the Virgin Mary. The piety. That was drawn by Michelangelo. See, so all these was attached stories to it. So this is what has happened in history by way of progression of history. But it's I want our listening audience to know that it would not be a Christ if it wasn't for our ancestors, those Melkite Coptic Egyptians, who created this image and through the council meeting created the development of what we know today as Christianity and Jesus Christ. Brother Tarhaka?
Okay. Did a wonderful job explaining that step by step, all 9 council meetings. And this is some very, very eye-opening information. I had to do my best to get all of this out here. I would like to say at this point, if you have a question for our guest, if you press 1 on your phone and give me an indication that you have something to say, and I'll open up your phone line. We have one number here at area code 469. It's been sitting patiently. I'm going to open that line up and see what questions we have for you. Area code 469, you're on the air.
Hi, it's Corey Neal from Arlington, Texas. And I don't have a question at the moment. I was just calling in to tell Dr. Walter Williams that I'm a student. I've been a student for about the past 3 years, and he was the greatest teacher that I've come into finding out about over my last. I've been researching for about 10 years myself. Just studying, trying to figure out the history of our people. The history of Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, and like I said, he was the greatest teacher that I ever ran into, and since then it's just been eye-opening information every time I listen to him, and I'm just so grateful that I'm here to be able to hear him at this moment. And I just wanted to say thank you again, Dr. Walter Williams, for your hard work and research.
I certainly appreciate you saying that, young man, Brother Corey. So thank you for recognizing and thanking me for my hard work of 43 years of gathering information to bring to our African community in America and throughout the world what happened to our African ancient Egyptian ancestors after the Greeks came into Egypt. So I thank you so much in your quest to learn all you can and keep on evolving, my brother. Thank you again.
Well, thank you, too. And I just wanted to say one more thing. I did leave you an email with my number because I wanted to ask you about some historical, go over some history with you if that was okay.
Yeah, did you send me an email?
Yes, I'll resend. I'll send another one right after we get off of the phone tonight.
Okay, well, make sure you put your phone number there. I got your email that you sent me last time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, send me another one. Put your phone number. Huh?
Yes, I'll send another one.
Okay, send another one, and you know I'll call you back like I did before.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Thanks so much. Yes, sir.
Okay. And we'll talk, okay?
All right, sounds great. I appreciate it, sir.
Okay. May I hotel to you, my brother.
And may I hope to you too, and Tarhaka, may I hope to you too.
May I hotel, brother. Okay, let's go down the line. We're going to area code 732. Tell us who you are, where you're calling from, and what's your question for our guest. 732, you're on the air. Okay, no 732, so let me go down. Area code 403.
Hello, Tarhaka. How you doing? Yes, I'm
fine,
here. Can
brother.
you hear me?
Yes,
Tarhaka. How are you? And Dr. Walter Williams, I would like to get on that same railroad track that young gentleman just said. I really appreciated you, growing up in the 60s and all of that in the churches, and I always knew something was wrong. Always knew it. And I have basically gotten cursed out. This is all I need. And now when this information has came out, because I think Aswell Quasi was the first one, Ray Hagen's, then it was you by mistake. I just happened to look at something, and I kept seeing your videos there. And when I heard the first one, I introduced a lot of my friends to it. And basically they would listen, and then one day somebody basically just cursed me out and asked me, well, who the blank is this? I was like, well, brother, why don't you go check him out? It took him 15 minutes before he called me back, and he said, now I know what you were saying. Between you, Aswell Quasi, John Henry Clark, and Dr. Ben, you gave dates. This has basically dispelled all the lies that even this United States government, what these people have done all over the world. And you have opened up a door that has basically gotten this whole European structure totally upset. But our ancestors, that truth is coming. The truth is it's coming, and they can't stop it. So now they want to cause a world war to make sure that we never get the truth, that we never find out. I mean, man, I think that's what my grandmother was so afraid of, me learning all of this truth, because even she knew some of these things. And I would ask her, and she would say, you frighten me because you ask these questions that people don't ask. And I just had to ask. So I have to say, man, I really appreciate you. I really do, you and your wife. I appreciate you, Tarhaka.
Thank you.
I love truth, and that's just the bottom line. I love facts backed and supported by logic. I don't like lies. I mean, nobody died for their sins. That's why I keep telling the children. Matter of fact, I'm in Canada, man, and I tell young adults in this high school, I give it out and say, go look at this guy. Just go look. And these young gentlemen are from Jamaica. They're from everywhere around the world, Sudanese. And these high school students come back and say, whoa, that dude knows what he's talking about. I say, your church won't tell you that truth, but I have to respect something that he says. And you said, I get mad, but you said you must allow a person to be who they are. If they want to do the Christian thing, let them do the Christian thing. You said that. So I say, well,
right.
He's right. He's right. Everybody's obligated to be who they are. So let me say it again. Thank you, sir. Thank you a lot.
Well, I certainly appreciate you. Again, people like you and Brother Corey and others who have emailed me and told me how much they appreciate my scholarship and what my scholarship has done for them and to them. That makes me feel very, very, very humble. I give this information out that you hear me give out to our community because I love you guys. I love
you too, man. I love you too, man.
I know you do. I know you do. So I don't go around with a big head. I don't go around with my ego inflated and so forth and so on. That I, just say I'm the greatest, that nobody else is this and so forth and so on. I don't do that. I give out the information that I have. But I want to set some things straight to you. Ray Higgins knows nothing about history. I'm not trying to knock him. Ray Higgins is a phony. Okay? Ray Higgins.
Yes, he did. He did undermine Aswell Quasi too. He did. I do remember that. He did. That wasn't cool.
He undermined me too.
Really?
Because he used to come. I used to lecture in St. Louis about 3 times a year. He would come in. I didn't know who he was. He would come in the back, sit in the very back, and take notes. And the next thing I know, somebody sent me a tape of him giving a lecture. And I sit down and listen to the tape, me and my wife. And my wife said to me, he's using your material.
Oh, my God. Okay. Okay. See, I didn't know that. Wow. I didn't know that. But I guess the truth always comes to the light. It always has. Wow.
He's not a historian. He don't know anything about this. You see? So eliminate him out. He is a opportunist. He wants to use our community. He wants to use our community to gather up enough and create enough African villages whereby they'll send him every month money from each village. And once a month, he's invited to one of the villages to come there and lecture and pay his airfare, hotel, feed him, and then give him an honorarium. He wants to use our community. He sent out a flyer, a letter, saying that let it be known that the African village is a church. A church. Oh. A church is what? Christian.
Yes, it's Cretan.
See, so don't. He's a phony, and I don't usually talk this way against anybody. Okay, but when you are phony, I must let my community of Africans know this. Like I'm giving you historical information, letting you know. I'm letting you know who's the phony. Stay away from him. So phony, he don't know anything about no history. Okay. Now,
gotcha.
My friend Aswar Kwesi, one of the great scholars of our time.
Yes.
Love him. Okay, student of Dr. Ben. Love Dr. Ben, love Dr. John Henry Clark.
Yes.
But let me set this record straight. It was Walter Williams who first introduced Serapis in our community. It was me.
Okay.
It was Walter Williams who broke down these 9 Ecumenical Council meetings, like you heard me break it down tonight. It was Walter Williams who did that. It was Walter Williams who brought forth an information about the world's first Christian church being the Hagia Sophia in our African community. It was me. You know. So I can go on and on and on and on. But I just want to set the record straight. I don't mind others using it, but give me credit for it.
Gotcha.
Because I worked 43 years to get all this information. You know. And I'm 87 years old now. You know. So I don't want nobody to go out and say, well, Ray Higgins did something. Ray Higgins didn't do a damn thing but steal your stuff and try to hustle our community. That's all he's a hustler. Don't forget, he's a con man. You know what his degree is in? Philosophy. Okay? So
yes.
He knows how to kiss up to the community, make you think he's he's this and that. He's a con man. Okay? So, but Aswar Kwesi is my man. He's one of our great scholars.
And he's like you. He loves the people. Right. But he wished that we would, which Tarhaka tries to. I wish that we could unite, because honestly, in the United States, and I'm in Canada, but I see what it is. It's about economics, and I don't think it was nothing wrong with us building our own, because from Amos Wilson to these other great ones, they told us, you know, how this went down. I can't think of the other guy. Barashango was another one. They told us about Africa, how we build. We did this, and we gave the world humanity. We civilized. Period.
Right.
We taught them not to sleep with animals. We taught them about bathing and things like that. And it just amazes me how they have the audacity to look down on us. By me being in Canada, I sort of invited, because I love throwing rocks upside their head, because they underestimate me and they judge me for my skin color and not what I know. And I kind of kill these white people over here with information, and then they end up shutting up. It's funny though, but it happens.
Let me tell you this. my brother.
Yes,
listen
sir.
to this very carefully.
Okay.
All you got to do is claim our African ancient Egyptians as your ancestors. That's all you have to do.
Okay.
It's over with.
Gotcha.
White supremacy is over with. All you have to do is say, my ancestors are the ancient Egyptians. I'm a descendant of those great people who brought civilization to the world. And they can't deny that. No human on earth can deny that. So all I want you to do is claim that. All you have to do is claim it. And your greatness right back in your power. Because our greatness is lying in the continent of Africa unclaimed. Because we call ourselves blacks, Negroes, African Americans, and this and that. And you got all these different religions. I'm a Christian, I'm a black Hebrew Israelite, I'm a Muslim, I'm a Buddhist, I'm a this and that. All that's foolishness.
Gotcha.
Wasting time. All you got to say, you want your greatness back? Claim your ancient Egyptians as your ancestors. The one who brought civilization to this whole entire world. And get out your dollar bill. And tell the people, if you want to, how great your people are. Pull out your dollar bill. Say, see that pyramid on this dollar? My ancestors built that.
Yep.
And nothing they can say about it. So you don't have to argue with nobody. All you have to say, I'm a descendant of those Africans. Make sure you say African, ancient Egyptian, because you got those white Arabs over there living in Egypt called, they said they're Egyptian. They're not
They do say
Egyptian.
that.
They're not ancient Egyptian. They can say that because they live there. Okay? But you make the distinction between the two of you. You're an African ancient Egyptian. That makes a difference. They are just plain Egyptians because they live there. Their ancestors did not build the pyramid. Your ancestors built the Great Pyramid. Your ancestors brought literacy to this world. Your ancestors were the only people during the time of antiquity that were literate. The first thing you learn when you go to school is an alphabet. When you first go to school, you learn an alphabet. The alphabet entitles you to read, write, and spell. You become literate. That's what your ancestors did. See, so you don't have to argue with nobody. Okay? I am a descendant of the greatest people who ever walked this earth, known in history as the ancient Egyptians. My ancestors built a great pyramid. My ancestors brought civilization to this world. What did your ancestors do?
Destroyed it.
They did damn thing.
Nothing. They did nothing.
But terrorized this world.
True. That's true. They're doing it right now. Terrorizing the world. They're doing it right now.
See, so that's all. That's what I want to say to you, my brother.
All right. Again, thank you. Again, I'm loving it. So I love the information. So it's the informational age. I'll take it. I love the truth. So, Tarhaka, thank you. Love your show. And you always have the great one on here, and I love Dr. Williams. The only best thing is I could have grew up in the house with him. He could have been my dad, and that would have been even better.
Maybe next time we'll come around. Maybe next time.
Yeah, we do it. So you keep pushing on, brother. I love you, man. I love both of y'all, man. Love you.
Okay, and we love you too, my brother. By the way, do you have my books?
Nope, but I'm going to get them. It just takes so long to get here, and then I'm fighting the situation with the United States. I'm either going to end up coming back or I'm going to stay here and work, because if I would have been in the States, I think I'd have been probably in prison or homelessness, because that child support is wrecking everybody's lives, and then they don't like me because I kept my receipts where I showed them I paid, and they don't like that. I mean, I actually had the receipts, and I show them, and but I know what it is. It's just a personal war, and it's an ugly situation. It's even an ugly situation what they did to Bill Cosby. They don't like us. The kings and the gods are trying to stand back up. We're trying to claim back who we are, and they don't want us to stand back strong like we used to. I get it.
Well, but you don't have to wait on them to give you approval. You take back your greatness. Your greatness is lying unclaimed in the continent of Africa for the reason being is unclaimed by you and us in this country is because they taught us away from it in the school system.
Yeah, which is their school system. And that's another thing they don't like. They don't like the fact that, again, information age, they don't like that we're learning certain things, such as a certain article in the IRC, Federal Reserve Act. There's no money. So America's whole facade, their whole strength is a fake. It's nothing to you guys. You guys have basically lied to us. We bought into your system and all your broken treaties, and the world sees it. The world sees it. It's embarrassing because, again, I'm in another country. They see it. I'm in a multicultural. I mean, I have so many different cultures around me. It's crazy, but they love talking to me being from the States, and they realize I'm not this person they see on TV. I'm a pretty intelligent brother. Thank God for a great-grandmother who pushed me for education. She pushed me. Trust me, she wasn't joking. So, and I love her for what she's passed on, but I'm glad that because of her is the reason that I listen to you. Always open up your mind and open up your ears. Shut your mouth.
Right.
2 eyes, 2 nose, 2 ears. Your mouth. Zip it, listen. Inhale the truth. You'll be all right. And I be doggone. She told me the truth.
That's correct. So what you do, brother?
Yes.
You continue to evolve and study. Go and get both of my books. I'm not trying to sell you the book, but you
always say that. You always say it. You always say it's the truth. And I do have a library, but I can honestly say I don't have your books part of the library, and that is my fault because I do have the income to buy it. That is my fault. I fault nobody myself.
Go on Amazon, and you can buy it, or your local bookstore in your community, and you can buy it. Where are you from?
Well, I'm originally from Shreveport, Louisiana, but I escaped and got out of the United States doing all the political crap, and I came to Canada. Best move I ever made because I was able to sustain a life, and then Canada gave me an open visa, which my immigration lawyer had to say to me, "You must be famous." I said, "No." And then he showed me my visa. He said, "They never give this visa to anybody." They gave me a visa, an open visa. I could either coach basketball. I could do what I want to do. And basically, I got a job, and I coach basketball at a high school team as a volunteer. And this is where I understand that this youth of mine, they're very different. They're like indigo children. They're different. They're humble. And I enjoy talking to them. Matter of fact, that's the people who treat me kind, or young adults. They're different.
Okay.
You
live in Canada now?
Well, yes, sir. I'm in Canada now.
Okay, great. Well, anyway, you go on the Amazon, and they sell you my 2 books. You get those books, and you study them and read them more than once because there's a lot of technical words and terms in there. And get your a dictionary and an encyclopedia, and you study and take notes. And when you take notes, you put this in your mind, and you can see the picture unfolding. So that's my suggestion to you, my brother, and I certainly appreciate your call. I certainly appreciate you trying to evolve, otherwise grow.
Yes.
And I want you to keep on growing. And thanks so much for the comments that you bestowed upon me, because they make me feel very humble, and that's the fuel that keeps me going, that fuels my energy up. So you really need the fuel to do that. Thank you so much. And may I hotep to you, my brother.
And may I hotep to you two great brothers, too. Have a good evening.
May I hotep, brother.
Okay.
Okay, Dr. Williams?
Yeah.
Could you let us know how your new book is coming along?
Well, it's coming along slow because we have so many interruptions in our lives. You got to go to different affairs, and things come up, and I'm running out of town and things like that. But that's no excuse. I'm not trying to give it an excuse, but that's what's been happening over the years, So, but we're going to have to buckle down because the book is actually finished. All we have to do is put the finishing touches on it, So that's what we're working on now, within the touch. So just, hang in there, continue to have patience, and the book will be out, and the information in the book is dynamite. So
okay. You know what? Last week, somebody sent me a video of a news broadcast in Detroit where this church, a fight broke out, fist fight broke out in the church. And they say the reason why it broke out, they say the pastor, who rides around in a Rolls Royce, and he lives in a mansion, say he requested that all of the members that particular Sunday, all of the members give $1,000 to the church. And he said, if you don't have $1,000, give 500. And we have an ATM machine in the church where you can go and use your card on the ATM machine. And man, the people got mad. They went to fight it. They went to accuse him of this. Say you rich, you ride around the Rolls Royce, you don't do nothing for the community at all. And man, they was fighting up in there in that that church. I got to get that video and send you a copy of that so you can see that it happened in Detroit.
Okay, I certainly appreciate it.
Huh?
I certainly appreciate you if you do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you. I couldn't believe it, man. I said, well, it's about time, because you got some of them. They got their own personal jets. They taking this religious lie to the umpteenth degree, and the poor people just steady forking over their livelihood in regards to the lie. And a young man brought up a very important fact, and this is what I try to get people to understand. The United States of America filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy back in 1933, and they're currently in the same bankruptcy. The cash that's a promissory note. That's a debt note. That is not money. They turned around and outlawed real money and made it against the law for you and I to use real money as a medium of exchange, which is silver and gold. And so that left us in a position to, the only thing that we could do is to discharge the debt, as stated by House Joint Resolution 192 FAC. So when it comes to student loans, Congress stepped in and strengthened the laws on that. What they call it a law? It ain't no law. We're in a lawless society. They have legal and illegal, which has nothing to do with the law. But they the only thing left for that is discharge. So, along with the materials that people and stuff get from me, I give them the means by which that they can do that with. And the brother, he's absolutely correct about living a whole different lifestyle in Canada. Because I got a brother that travels all over the world, and he calls me every week. He's in let me see, where is he now? He's just arrived in London, England, and he really thinks highly of you, Dr. Williams. He's going into the London Museum looking for the Serapis bust, and he reminds me every time he calls me. He said, "Well, Dr. Williams says here, I'm gonna find it." I said, well, "Okay, you told you where to go get it. Go look at it." He said, "They're gonna take some pictures of it and send them to me." He'll be back here in December. He just left Greenland, and he's there in London, England now. But he travels all over the world. He has told me some stories, man, that is unbelievable. He said there are certain places in Africa, in Egypt, that you couldn't. Was it Egypt? It was somewhere over there that you can go in, but Europeans can't go in and spend no buy nothing in this stuff. You come in there with one of them, and they'll put you out of there. He also said there are certain places in different parts of the world that do not allow you to buy anything with American dollar bills.
Okay.
And if you insist, create a problem, they have you arrested.
Oh, wow.
Man, he comes and he travels all over the world. And he comes in, we sit down and we talk, and he explained what's going on in different parts of the world. Because most people think that this place is the die-all, be-all. And that's simply not true. You got people.
I said you're right. And let me say this, Brother Tarhaka, and now that you're going. The Serapis bus and the shrines to Serapis, I have it listed in my book, The Historical Origin of Islam, where where you can find around the world where these bus or Serapis are. So tell him to get my book, Historical Origin of Christianity, and look in there. I got listed where you can find bus of Serapis around the world.
Okay, that's in the Historical Origins of Islam.
No, is that in Historical Origin of Islam? I think it's Christianity.
Okay, all right, because I think he do have your books. I know I got them, and so when I talk to him, he'll call me this week, and I'll talk to him, and I'll make sure that I tell him to get it. I hope he don't have it, because he be on the water. He's on the merchant ship. They deliver missiles, and he have a lot of his materials in a storage locker here in the States. So I'll talk to him, and I hope he got that book with him. But if he don't, then he just gonna have to go where he going. But if it is the bus is in the London Museum, isn't it?
I don't think it's in the London Museum. I think I got it listed in there. That's what I was saying. I don't remember it being in the London Museum. But it could be.
All right. Well, what I'll do is when I talk to him, I'll give him the location of it out of the book that I have here. If he don't have it on the ship with him.
Right. Or you can take you can copy pages out of a book and send it to him, and then he have a list already there.
Okay. Well, either way, he'll get the message. But we're down to the last couple of minutes. Dr. Williams, you want to give out your contact information and some final words for us?
Yes. Well, as always, I look forward to my once a month being on air with you, on Blog Talk Radio with you, dispensing and giving out information that I hope will help our African community grow. So I have to commend you, Brother Tarhaka, for having such a show. I believe, from what I know, that this is the only show of its kind to give out the information that we give out. So I certainly appreciate you for having this platform. And I appreciate you for inviting me onto this platform so we can dispense critical information that is needed in our African community. So I had to take my hat off to you for that. And
thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah. And also...
Next time... Oh, go ahead.
Well, I just want to say that if a person wants to contact me, you can contact me by emailing me at ancientegyptian@msn.com. Ancient, ANCIENT, Egyptian, EGYPTIAN, @msn.com. When you do that, put your phone number there. I'll get back to you, and we can converse further from that point. And if you want to buy both of my books. You can go on Amazon and buy them, or Barnes & Noble, or any African bookstore in your community where you live. Or you can get it direct from one of my distributors, which is the Underground Bookstore, located in Chicago at 1727 East 87th Street, 1727 East 87th Street. The phone number there is 773 768 8869. Again, the Underground Bookstore phone number, where you can order my two books, The Historical Origin of Christianity and The Historical Origin of Islam, is that you can call Yoel, Brother Yoel, 773 area code 768 8869. You can order my books there. And again, I appreciate the brothers that called and the ones that didn't call, and the ones that just hung on and heard the message. I thank you for doing what you are trying to do, and that is to try to learn more than what you knew yesterday. So thank you, my brothers and sisters out there. I love you. So I want you to keep on keeping on, and we can go from there. So I look forward to our next meeting on air, which will be the last Sunday of October, which starts tomorrow. October starts tomorrow. So the last Sunday of October, I'll be back again. Is that correct, Tarhaka?
That's correct. That'll be October the 28th, and we will have. It's very important for y'all to be here for that one, because the title of that one is going to be "Are the Moors and Ancient African Egyptians One and the Same People?" We're going to tackle that next time, Dr. Wade.
Okay, I look forward to that, and I hope that a lot of the Moorish science brothers are hook on to that.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm going to be putting it out there. I'm going to be advertising.
Okay. So I'm looking forward to us breaking all that down and bringing forth this information that you and I know that is very vital to our African community at this time in world history. So I thank you again, my brother. I look forward to being on with you next time. So with that,
okay, my brother.
I want to say Me'al Hotep to you.
Okay, Me'al Hotep, my brother.
All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, y'all got a thorough education this evening with Dr. Walter Williams, and I'd like to just extend one more round of applause to him because he did a wonderful job. All right, I've been your host, Tarhaka Money Obey, and until next time, y'all have a good evening. Good night.